I've been using dating apps on and off for the past decade, since I was like 22, which is the first year I was like single and attempting to do something about it. And ever since I was out of high school, I didn't have any social constructs that forced me to interact with other human beings, which socially is both a blessing and a curse. Blessing part is that I am very patient when it comes to human beings. If you're a guy who wants to talk to me on the street, I'm down for it. If you're my cab driver, you want to have a political conversation, okay. You want to tell me how racist you are very quickly, I'll accept it. I mean, I'm not gonna stop the car and go, oh no, I can't be driven by a racist. I'll still give you 5 stars. I got no backbone, baby. Or like an old neighbor that keeps telling me about her dying dog and giving me oranges because I talked to her. I'll accept it. I like human interactions. The downside is, I don't get to meet people organically. People usually go study something, they work a job, they get to meet people through that, they have roommates. Maybe that's how you find someone to like befriend, or maybe even kiss. But I don't get that. I gotta find my kisses on the cyberspace. I've fallen in love with so many bots. All it takes is a blonde woman in red lingerie in an avatar. I'll click any link she sends over. So yeah, my kisses usually come from the cyberspace, whether it be a nudge on MSN Messenger, or like a poke on Facebook, or someone slithering into the crevices of a DM. I'm a modern kid. Ugh, I'm 32. Or the subject of today, dating apps. I love them. I hate them. They're bad. They're great. They give me a score based on how hot I am. Not nice. They tell me to pay so I can be dated. Not cool. I want to be dated thanks to my height. But you know what I do like about dating apps is that there is a sense of mutual interest. You both click a button that says, I would like to chat with this human being, and then you get to chat. It can go so many ways from that point on, but that initial confirmation of mutual consent, fucking love that shit, bro. Addressing that innate fear of mine of like coming up to some strange girl and trying to talk to her, and her wanting nothing to do with me, but being unable to express it because she wants to be polite, because we kind of taught girls to be too polite. I don't want to be a part of that chemistry. No, thank you. In the digital realm, they can just fully ignore you once you start talking, so it's perfect. Now, I don't want to brag, but I'm kind of a feminist. A thing you should never say on a first date. Very scary to hear. But don't worry, I also hate women. Because like any true feminist, you recognize that women are human beings. Some human beings suck. It's okay to hate them. Now, are all women brave? Of course they are. But also, some of them are very frightened, and that's fine. That's okay. I, in fact, like them frightened. I like them shivering. I like them cold. I like them being haunted by at least 1 or 2 ghouls. It's my type. Now, I think there are a few different ways girls use Tinder. Some are there mostly for the dopamine rush. Just to like get a match and be like, fuck yeah, I'm a hot bitch! Which is fully understandable. I do that too. Some are there just like a hot girl advertising her business being a hot girl. When I was in LA, a lot of girls just put their cash apps in their bios. Sure, get that amorphous bag, girl. And some are there to go on dates and actually find love and do the things. Now, I use Tinder for the ego boost, of course, and for dating. I gotta date. I gotta do something. I gotta meet other human beings. I like chatting with girls. I'm a sensitive man, so I'm good at it. Do they want to kiss me afterwards? No, because they've been talking about their trauma and crying. But still, I had a good time. Also, I assumed that girls read bios, but I don't think anyone does. I think I am the only one to read bios. Although, girls' bios, not much you can glean from them. It's usually a set of like 10 emojis that usually say, I like adventures, I like dogs, I like the beach, I like adventures, I like the beach, I like dogs, and they gotta choose one of 3 shows that they like. Seinfeld, Friends, or The Office. Those are the only 3 shows girls have ever watched. It's insane! On Bumble, for example, the app where the lady gets to initiate the conversation after a match, most of them probably match with me and then read my bio and see that I'm not looking for anything serious. And then they slowly turn into a sad gray ball, gray sphere that represents a woman that may have wanted to talk to me, but decided not to. Not a pleasant experience for me, but when they do talk to me, and they don't hate me, and they do want to go out, and they don't like change the plans like 10 minutes before we're supposed to meet, it's great. Here are some fun Tinder stories. When I was in New York, I think that was the first time I actually paid for Tinder because I was swiping madly. Nothing like going on vacation and being like, these are the types of women here? Ooh! And I matched with some girl as I was eating a chicken parm ziti made for a family of 4. Ziti? It can't be called ziti.
How do you say it? Zitti. Zitti is how it is said in Italian.
I was eating a chicken parm ziti! Anyway, she invited me to hang out and she was like, but I'm with a friend. Now, I of course wanted to ask, is it a guy friend? Because I want to hang out with you and some guy. I think that's fair. But also, I didn't want to be like a creep. I didn't want to be a creep about it. I was like, I don't want her to think I'm insisting on us meeting one-on-one because that's weird. So I was just like, fuck it. I took the L train. I somehow met her. I saw a guy with her. And it took like 2 seconds of eye contact with him for us to like relay all the proper information we need, which was basically, yeah, she invited me out, but then she invited you. I don't know what the is going on. And I was like, okay. And so we sat down, we ate some fries. I think I mostly flirted with the guy because, I don't know, I panicked. I also had this like awkward date at the MoMA with this cute girl. All I remember is seeing that one painting from that episode of Arthur and being like, hey, you see that? That's from an episode of Arthur. And my third and final date there, it wasn't really a date, but I had some weed there that was stronger than the weed I'm used to. And I got into the habit that if I'm smoking with other people, I'm like, just so you know, this is some pretty strong stuff. If you don't often smoke, take it lightly. Nico. And she wanted a hit, and I was like, you sure? And she was like, yeah, of course, I am girl. And I gave her some, because I'm not gonna gatekeep my favorite drug. And can you guess what happened? Few minutes, full panic attack. She stops. She's like, call an ambulance, I am dying. Now, I know she's not dying. I know that weed causes anxiety in people, but also, what if she does die? What if I'm the first man to ever cause a weed-related death? I didn't want that. That would ruin my vacation completely if I was just now trialed for doing a drug death. So I try to calm her down. I say like, just take a few breaths, breathe. It'll be fine. It happens. But she insisted I call an ambulance. So I called an ambulance. What am I to do? I don't want a dead woman. I told them where we're at. And as we were waiting like 2-3 minutes, she like got up and was like, okay, I'm feeling better. And at this point, we can already hear the ambulance slowly coming towards us. And I'm like, I tell her, so do you wanna wait for them? Do we just ditch? Do we just leave? I didn't want to get in more trouble than I felt like I was in at the moment. So I was like, I'll be nice. I'll talk to the nice people. They'll be understandable. And everything will be fine. So we waited there. The ambulance arrives. And the 2 paramedics roll down their window with already a look of just like, that's what you called us for? Because they see everything's fine. They see 2 human beings just standing there. One of them looks a little higher than the other. And so I basically say like, hey, sorry, I think she had like a panic attack from the weed. I think she's fine now. We're just going to go to my place and take a nap. And one of them says, I'm sorry, you called an ambulance. You got to get in so we can test her out, make sure everything is actually fine. And I said with no confidence whatsoever, I don't think we'll be doing that. I live right here. We'll just go there. I don't know why I'm speaking for her. Probably because she's very high, but she's fine. I promise. I'm just a foreigner in your land. Trust me. They basically just looked at one another's side and were like, okay, whatever. And I nearly deflated. I was just like, ah. It was a stressful thing. She took a nap and took a cab back home. I asked her later how she's doing. She said she's fine. Everything was fine. But yeah, I also have some positive dating experiences. They're just not funny stories. But I do talk about like my dating life a little bit on my Patreon podcast. $5 tier, and you get to hear me once a month talk about how hard it is to create things and general life updates that I don't know if they're interesting to anyone. Here's a little snippet. I just continue dying shows instead of making new things. Cut that off. That sucks. And as some of you know, I have been attempting to actually talk to women in the physical real life realm, just approaching women like a snake in the grass. And if you're a girl and you look at me for a second too long, you're done for. You smile at me? How dare you? You are now in my brain, and I must make decisions. Now, it's mostly been rejection so far, but I'm finding out that I don't hate being rejected. I take it with stride by immediately leaving the place where it happened. I don't usually feel bad for trying things out. I feel bad for not trying things out. Even if the result isn't, yes, of course, I've been looking at you, you are my loved one, I love you. And it's just, no, but thank you. It's great, because it's resolved. It's not something that keeps living in your head. Trying things instead of not trying things is a very basic life lesson. I'm aware of that. Most life lessons are very like basic and straightforward, but living your life by them is easier said than done. You know, like how you can give your friends amazing advice, but following said advice yourself, oh, f that. No. Closing statement. My thoughts.
Hey, sir, you can't do this here.
Excuse me?
You can't film big Hollywood productions up in the parking lot, sir.
Oh, no, I make no money off of this. No. This is just for my...
Oh.
I don't know, this is kind of a second version of therapy. This is like things I talk about in therapy, but then I talk about them here in the Waffle House.
What? This sounds very, very parasocial, sir.
It's not. I think it's very cool, and the comments on my videos have been getting very cult-like.
Oh.
So you better watch out, because I'm grooming an army that will...
That's a threat.
is going to be very strong in numbers. Right, guys?
Sir, you can't be...
You'll fight for me, right? Right, sweetie?
We gotta do something.
Right, sweetie? Tell me about your experiences down below. Consider supporting me on Patreon.
Of course he has a Patreon.
Huh? What's that?
We gotta call the cops on this guy.
You also have human feelings that you can relate to?